let's go to the next question. And the next question is, can you explain the knobs in 3x Oscillator, or can you explain 3x Oscillator plugin? I can. And I see here a question in the chat, how to organize VSTs in FL Studio. That's a good question. After I answer this one, how to explain the knobs, I will come to your question. Thanks for asking. And let's go again to FL Studio and let's see the knobs of 3x Oscillator. Okay, so let's load 3x Oscillator here. And yeah, so this is the most simple plugin that you might find here in FL Studio, and is the one that I like the most, to be honest, and is a plugin that I really use a lot in my productions. I guess in every single production that I have, I use 3x Oscillator. Not every, but most of the times whenever I want a bass, a really deep bass, I go with this one because it just sounds good and sounds great. And it says here since 2000, so it's been a while in the making, but it's still here and it's still strong. So 3x Oscillator, as the name indicates, it's 3 times oscillator. So 3 oscillators in one single plugin. And as you can see here, we have 1, 2, and 3, which means that we have 1 oscillator, 2 oscillators, 3 oscillators. That's basically it. And an oscillator basically is just a wave generator, and it can generate several types of waves, or you can also import your own waves so that it can create a specific sound that you are looking for. And if we look here at this section, the first section here, we have the waves types that we can choose from. So we have, in this case, this is a sine wave. This is a triangle wave. This is kind of a triangle wave with some, this will create some different noise. And here we have something that we can import. So we can import our own sound files here. We can have also a triangle shape and a ramp. And then we have white noise. And here we can invert the oscillator. So if you want to change the phase of the oscillator, we can do it here. So let me go ahead and play a little bit of every single note. So this is a middle C. So this is a sine wave. This is a triangle wave or a square wave. I hope that's not too loud. As you can see, we have, sorry, let me lower the volume. We have way more harmonics than we have with just a sine wave. With a sine wave, we have a single harmonic here, or a single frequency. And with this one, we have way more harmonics, and they sound a little bit, it sounds a little bit more, it has more buzziness. Next up, we have this one here, which I don't know exactly the name, but it's something very similar to the square wave, but probably has a different set of harmonics. So let's select this one. You can see that this space here, it's different than this space here. Probably this one has second order harmonics, this one has third order. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but yeah, I don't have any file to load, so let's skip that. This is a triangle wave, and you can see it has also some harmonics, but has less buzziness, less harmonic content here. It's the harmonics are more streamlined, I guess. Not probably it's streamlined is not the best word, but they are more clear, well defined. And if we go back to the square wave, we see that we have way more subharmonics here. Then we have the ramp, and this is very similar to the square wave, but it gives us a different volume, or a different shape, and a different set of harmonics. And then we have here white noise, and white noise will be just a set of all frequencies. That's it. And we can really play, going back to the previous question, let's say that we want to do some white noise risers. We can actually do that with an envelope here. Let's make the attack we can actually set, let's see, let's do it in 4 steps. maybe let's do that in 32, and we can actually cut everything. So this is how we could probably do some type of white noise riser. You see something like that. Of course, this is a crude example, but we could actually use this just for risers, and goes at the end of the time that we set here. It was 32, I guess, 32 steps. It would just stop. So let me take this out. This is the wave shape, and let's go back to sine wave, and then we have here the phase offset and detune. So let's play again the sine wave, and what the detuning does is it adds some variation to the sine frequency, or the frequency that you are playing. This creates some detuning. Basically, that's the name. It's kind of hard to explain what is detuning because that's the name, but it creates this wobbling of the fundamental frequency, especially here in the sine wave. And we see that this kind of wobbles between that, and we can have it more, or we can have it positive or negative. And if we apply this, for instance, for a square wave, we also have this fuzziness effect of going from left to right, or bouncing between the fundamental frequency. Okay, so let's now do the phase offset. Here in the sine wave, you will not notice too much, but for instance, if I put 2 sine waves, let's put them in the same pitch. I think I could, if I think there was a way to just, with phase offset, cancel each other. So in this case, they are not, we are still playing, but we don't see anything there. So I think that's it. But basically what does this does is offsets the starting point of the wave shape. So if the wave shape starts like this, goes up and goes down, if we change the offset, it will start a little bit later, or we can actually start with a negative position first and then go to the positive. And I know this is kind of hard to explain this way, but that's basically what does this do. And then we have here the coarse pitch. Basically, what does this? We can play around with the pitch. Very simple. And then we have here fine tuning. So if you want to fine tune the pitch of the coarse pitch, we can do that here. And then we also have panning, only to the left or only to the right, and that's it. Let's reset, and then you can pretty much do the same. The knobs are the same pretty much for every single oscillator, with the exception of 2 and 3, which have this knob here for mixing the volume of the oscillator. So let's say one thing that I like to do, I said that I like to do basses. One thing that I usually do for basses is that I put everything at 0, and then I choose this type of waves, a sine wave, then a triangle, and then this type here. I do some mixing here, and then I apply a low pass filter, and this is how it sounds. Very, very deep bass, and we can even go lower. I really enjoy this type of bass, because it gives, I think it sounds really, really cool with every single track that I played with. It always sounds amazing. So I like to do this, especially for basses. I really like to use this plugin because it's easy to set up, and it's very powerful because it's easy.